Welcome to another stock market update. Today is November 9, 2018. In this video, we're going to take a look at the S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100, and the Russell 2000. In addition, we're going to take a look at this respective ETF, the SPY, the QQQ, and the IWM. Let's take a look at the cash index, the S&P 500. So you can see from this note here, I put up last week, and essentially we're looking for this thing to move to this 2717 and see how it will do. And as you can see that it actually moved to and move about this 2794 or 95.14, then it kind of pulled back. So right now we establishing a new level of resistance here, because we moved to this particular resistance level. So we're going to be taking that off. That no longer in play. Now the resistance will be basically this 28.64.12, but the support here still remain for this one. But in addition to that, we're going to have another support here, because we're basically looking at this particular gap fill, sort of a support here, and so we'll be looking for this this particular level as the first level of support if it come down next week here to this 2756 area, and see would that be able to hold. And if it doesn't hold, then we'll be looking at this 2717 again, and then come down and do this gap fill 2683. Okay, here we're going to be looking at the SPY, the chart of the SPY here. This is a 30-minute chart here, and also have a micro composite volume profile here from the beginning of October to the present, which is November 9. And as you can see, here's the micro composite point of control here, somewhere around this 276.50 area. And you see that today it kind of got bounced up a little bit above that when it came down. And here's the value area high, which is 281.10. That's the level that we're going to keep an eye on in next week, during next week, to see would it be able to move to this level. If it could move to this level here, then we're basically looking for a price to maybe possibly come up and see would it get rejected at this LVN and come back in. And if that come back in, then we'll basically be looking at prices probably work its way back down to this value area low, somewhere around 266. But if it could move to it, then the next LVN that we'll be looking at is somewhere around this 284. These are all micro composite LVN based on the price between October and the present. Okay, and then the continuation to watch this 285.50. These are the upside level to keep an eye on. But if let's say it come up here and get rejected, and maybe chop around here for a little bit longer, and then work itself down, because these are the supposedly some sort of support level that we're basically looking at. Okay, and this is still in the high volume area here. So there's going to be a lot of chop here, and work itself down to 271. Again, this is a little bit of a high volume no also, right? And see some price support here. So basically looking to see would it get a little bit of a chop, and eventually probably come down here to this 266.88 and see would it be able to hold, or would it just come right to and possibly work itself down to retest its low. Okay, let's take a look at the Nasdaq 100, the cash index. So you can see from the note last week, we're expecting for this thing to basically try to come down and fill this gap. So you can see it partially filled this gap and found support here and got a bounce. Right? Found the support here at 68.56. It did not come down and do a back test and then move down, and instead it came down and then it bounced, and it went to this 71.58.78, and then it came back down. So right now we're essentially going to move this resistance area. Essentially, we're going to eliminate this resistance area here because that has already been tested and broken through. So now just coming back. So we're still going to see this 68.56.96 as a potential support. And now the next level of resistance is essentially the 7308.52, and then possibly move up to this 7400. Okay, and so that would be the cash index for the Nasdaq 100. Take a look at the QQQ, the ETF for the Nasdaq 100. You can see on this micro composite, again, the volume point of control here somewhere around this 159.57. It got pretty close, also got into this support level, close to the support level around this 170. And got a little bounce here. So right now for the coming week, essentially want to see will this bounce continue and come up here. This is the value high area for the micro composite, somewhere around this 177, and see would it get rejected back down or would it be able to move to. Then we'd be looking at this LVN somewhere around 178.26. Then the next LVN level we'll be watching is 181.02. If it could move to this LVN, the 178 level. But if it get rejected and come down and break below this VPOX, this micro composite, and we'll look at this value area low down here at this 166.88 to see would it be able to hold. If it won't be able to hold, then we'll be looking for it to break through and come down to the 165.70, then eventually get down to these area here and retest the recent low here. So that would be the QQQ. And here's the Russell 2000 cash index. And last week, let's just go back and take a look at what we said last week here. Last week we were looking for one possibility as move up to this this 1592.1. As you can see, it got close to it, but it haven't come up all the way up and tag it. Then today you saw this big pullback. Or the other scenario at the start of the week was one possibility to come down to this 1514.90 and maybe get a little bit of a test and bounce, or come to and then do a back test, and if it failed the back test, then we're looking for this thing to pull back to the 1452.1. So right now you can see, before I move on, I also posted this earlier on Twitter to highlight this evening star type of pattern. So the likelihood is we probably see prices come down if this pattern is going to play out. But there's always a possibility that we'll get a little bit of a fake out and then just come back up and test this 1592.1. So essentially right now we're still looking for this level as one of the possible resistance area, 1592.1, and if it cannot get to here, then again we're basically looking for a continuation to move back down here to retest this 1514.90 and see would it be able to find support. And if it can't find support here, then we're essentially looking for this thing to come back down and possibly retest the recent low. Let's take a look at the IWM, the ETF for the Russell 2000. So as you can see on this micro composite, here is the composite point of control here, which is somewhere around this 153. Right, that's where the highest volume got traded, around this particular price level near 153. Okay, so there's a lot of acceptance here, and what I did is I also label a level, highlight a level that at 154, somewhere around 154.38 and 152.89. So that would be essentially the zone that I'll be watching. And if we could break out this high volume area, and let's say it break above this, then I'd be looking for the price to move up to this low volume node here, somewhere around 158.40, this area here, to see would it get a rejection back down, or would it just get a move right to. Then we'll be looking at the next level of potential rejection at 160.31, and once again we'll see it come down and maybe come back down to this high volume area, or it will bounce around and push back up and get into this high volume area to this 162.74. Now that's all for the potential upside, but if it come down and break this 152.89, I'd be looking forward to come down to this 151.85 area, this sort of a low volume area here, to see would it get a rejection back up, right, or it just kind of slide through and move to this high volume area, and maybe get down to this area here before we see a little bit of chop, which is the composite, the micro composite value area low. All right, so in this area, somewhere around this 148 area. If you find this video informative, please give it a like by clicking that thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber of my YouTube channel, click on the subscribe, and thank you for watching.